is one of the most dangerous acts on the new Sideshow stage. And now it's performed for the first time by a woman. Traditionally, sideshows toured with circuses and carnivals. Behind the provocative banners, you might find a 10-in-1. That's 10 acts under 110 for one ticket. Today, a few performers are attempting to meticulously recreate the shows exactly the way they were created over half a century ago.
We're extremely passionate people. It's been this huge labor of love, you know, and that's what's driving us more than anything. And people might think, well, you're nuts to try and pull something like this off in this day and age. But this is an idea that's so old, it's brand new right now.
This really has not been done since the turn of the century, or shortly after, a 10-in-1. And this is really great with all these circus wagons and everything. I can't think of a better place to premiere the Brothers Grimm Sideshow.
The place is the annual Great World Circus Parade in Milwaukee, kind of a trip back through circus time itself. After months of preparation and strict attention to detail, founders Ken Hark and John Hartley are just about ready to open the Brothers Grimm Sideshow.
I promise you, you will see things that you never thought were possible. You're going to see the unusual, the unique, the bizarre, and I guarantee you, you'll remember the day you seen this show, the longest day of your life.
Well, as a species, we're very curious monkeys. I mean, we'll turn out for fires, we'll turn out for funerals, we'll turn out for anything where we think there's going to be a kind of a rush to watching what's going on. And that's always been the essence of what attracted people to sideshows anyway.
People go around thinking about all the things they can't do. They can't make their car payment, or their wife's screaming at them.
Or even they look at us and go, you can't be a bank manager anymore.
But this isn't about what you can't do, this is about what you can do.
One half of the world's strangest couple, the Enigma.
I guess it all started when I was 6 years old, playing piano, flute lessons, singing lessons, dancing lessons. You know, my mom just wanted me to have an appreciation for the arts. So then I started getting interested in other types of entertainment, like fire reading, sword swallowing, you know, human blockhead and such, and decided that sword swallowing was one of those impossible possibles, something that I needed to achieve. Of course, Mom wasn't too happy about that, but
Set my mouth on fire, becoming a mini Olympic torch.
I'd read about these type of acts when I was very young. There was a book in my elementary school library which had, among other things, descriptions of people in sideshows swallowing swords. And I thought, wow, I'd like to see that. Found out I could not see anybody doing it. It just doesn't happen anymore. It kind of became kind of a hobby of mine. I found as much information as I could and began to teach myself very slowly over many years. And it slowly became something that came from a hobby and came very much to the front of my life, and something I was getting very successful at.
I know a lot of people believe that, well, what's going on in Sideshow now is a lot wilder and more extreme and more outrageous than in past, but there's very little new in Sideshow.
Check them out, ladies and gentlemen.
Strongmen go back to ancient times. They really kind of developed into an act in the Victorian era when they had big stage shows, and there was always a strong man, and he would do very similar feats as I do.
He's getting a grip. Here he goes. He's tearing through it as though it were tissue paper. In a matter of seconds, torn completely in half. Mighty Bell, Bulgarian strongman.
To get out on stage and do that act and impress your audience, you have to put a different spin on it. But that's always been the essence of Sideshow.
I love to perform. I studied ballet and voice and piano when I was a kid. I just think I have a lot of stage presence and a lot of energy. I do a fire routine in a sort of 1920s circus outfit with big feathered headdress. When I used to first start, I used alcohol, grain alcohol, or 151 or something, and that burns your mouth. The inside of your mouth and the outside, everything is on fire. With lamp oil, the flame never gets but like that close to your mouth, you know, if you're doing it properly.
Everyone was having the time of their life, and they're all exhibitionists. I mean, the hardest thing to do is to hold these monsters back.
I love to please people. When I see the reaction, seriously, that's it.
Welcome to the stage, Natasha Varushka.
So I start off by belly dancing, and quite a unique fashion actually. Lots of veils, zills, the whole works. And then from the balancing sword, I creep all the way to the floor with the chin actually on the floor, it is. Then I take the sword up and I swallow it. When sword swallowers knew I was going to do the neon, they were quite amazed, because you know, you can get away without doing it, pray tell, right?
Swallowing neon is probably the most dangerous act in the sideshow today. And Natasha is the only woman ever to attempt this deadly feat.
And it took me so bloody long to get the neon down. And it's not even about ego or showing off or anything. You have to get into a whole headspace, you know, or be fall short of a six-pack. It's one of the two. I broke 2 of these already, not in me, or I would be dead. I usually choose 1 or 2 people, and I dance for them, always, just, you know. And when I swallow, especially the neon, it's so unique. I think it's actually, it has to be a calling, something like this.
Please, once again, Natasha Varushka, wasn't that amazing?
You know, I could swallow that easily. Go for it. I could, you know. I could. I mean, really, really simply.
Enigma and Katzen have gotten to be the most recognized performers working the sideshows today. But they're not just cool to look at. They do some of the wildest stuff on stage. This happy couple is just the updated version of the good old-fashioned tattooed man and woman, with a few modifications.
She's the only woman in the world with a full body tattoo theme, a tiger. She's the only woman in the world with whiskers, self-made whiskers. Accident with a weed eater. She didn't like to talk about it. She has her ears shaped into points, the lobes removed, and then the tops of the ears pointed. The integrity of the cartilage removed and then stitched together. She does have a tail, but you know, we all have a tale to tell.
I don't know how many puzzle pieces there are on my husband, because we were working ourselves in too much of a jigsaw frenzy to take time out to count them all. But
kind of like a jelly bean jar. You just have to guess.
yeah. But of course, everybody always talks about the 2 puzzle pieces that kind of rise above all the rest on his head. Those are his implants, and I'll let you tell them a little more about that.
Yeah, I was in heaven. They ran out of wings. The horns were cheaper, though. You just had to sell your soul, and I wasn't using mine anyway, so I figured, what the hell.
It's not some costume that he can take off. He's the Enigma 24 hours a day, no matter where he goes, whatever the situation is, that, you know, good or bad.
That's the price he has to pay for his decision.
Yeah, so talk about a dedicated performer. You know, that's right in what I'm saying, like the greatest in the world.
The whole thing is to entertain people. That's the main thing. But there is danger. I guarantee you everything happening up here, most everything is dangerous. If you do it wrong, the injuries can be quite severe. They call me the torture king, and this is how they described it for the Western audience. You'd see people doing this in the Middle East, and everybody knows what it's about, but you bring it over to a Western audience, that I'd be hurting myself or causing myself injury, that I'm torturing myself. But in fact, I'm doing these things without causing injury. I'm coming through this unscathed and using techniques so that I don't get hurt, and that's the whole point of the show. I do something where I swallow a string and cut myself in the chest, pull it out. I'm gonna cut into myself, try to reach inside with the forceps and retrieve the string. I've got an incision going. See if I can reach inside. All right, I'm inside. I think I've got it. You can see as I pull the string out from inside me. When I first started this, it was kind of viewed as a counterculture thing. It was like your rock and roll thing. But nowadays, you know, as you saw, people are bringing their kids to see these shows. And I think that's the direction it's going. It's going to be more of a common type of entertainment. Almost. I've got it. Internal flossing, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, the sight you just don't see every day.
Sideshow in future is never going to lose the traditional acts. You're never going to lose the fire breathers and fire manipulators. You're never going to lose the sword swallowers. You're going to see different takes on those acts. You're going to see different manifestations of those types of performances. It's the rebirth. It's the new vaudeville.